We're here on King Spotlight with Monarch football coach Jeff Knarr. This is week 2 for the Monarchs as they host Widener University. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get to Widener, let's talk a little bit about the opener last week against William Patterson. You guys played a tough game, lost 9-3 on a touchdown with 7 seconds left. Talk a little bit about that performance by your team.
Overall, I mean, we were pleased with a lot of things that we saw. There was a lot of good plays on the field there, but we just offensively need to finish. I mean, we got the ball inside the 8 and the 6, and then couldn't punch it in. So we as coaches, we got to do a better job of making sure we can get our kids into the end zone from there. And then we just had a couple of miscues here and there, a couple costly penalties. A couple of them were very first game or first time playing type mistakes that kids with the experience and reps won't make. And then we kind of allowed William Patterson to be in the game and stifled a lot of the opportunities that we had. But I mean, we had plenty more opportunities and we just didn't take advantage of them in the first game, and unfortunately came up a little short.
Talk about the effort that your players made individually against a very experienced squad.
Yeah, we were the effort was outstanding. The enthusiasm, the kids were into the game, the guys on the sidelines were. People were working together, playing hard, every play, running to the ball. I mean, we were gang tackling, blocking downfield, helping to get that extra yard and effort. So I mean, the kids gave everything they had for 60 minutes, and then that's all you can ask. And some of our youth again got hurt us a little bit with some of those mistakes, and we were moving pretty well, and all of a sudden we get closer to the goal line, the pressure gets ratcheted up, and young guys get a little nervous, and mistakes happen. And then with time and experience, those mistakes go by the wayside. But that was a concern. How's a young team going to play with a veteran team? And our kids held their own.
You played 2 quarterbacks in the game. Bryant Klein started, and Tyler Hartranft came in as well. They rotated in a lot of situations. Talk about their play.
Overall, we were pleased with what they did. I mean, we were in 2 series, and rotated every 2 series with the guys, and kept it that way through the whole game. And they both had their moments where they made things happen, either with their feet or their arm, or buying time and throwing, and threw things on time. They made a couple costly mistakes, and they executed overall at a pretty good level.
Kyle McGrath, who had a real nice game. He rushed for 108 yards, becoming the first Monarch to crack the 100-yard plateau in almost 2 full seasons.
Yeah, I mean, he's, again, everything we've thought, he's come to fruition. And keep him healthy, he's going to be, a real special player. And he did a good job, ran hard, had good vision, and was able to create some things. And then the other thing, which is appreciative, is that he was helping, set up blocks, and then the receivers saw that and realized, and then they want to block more because Kyle was using them to get extra yards from that standpoint. And he's learning how to, he's a big guy, but he's got quick feet and good vision. He can make people miss, and we just need him to get him to be, lower that shoulder and use the 215 pounds a little bit more of a, when it's time to be a short yardage type of a back and run some people over.
Another player who had a real nice game, maybe a surprise to some, but that was senior Steve Duncan at fullback.
Yeah, it was good. Last year, Steve came to us as a transfer, and had played some safety at his previous school, and kind of had been all around. And the goal was to try to find Steve a home. And he did a solid job for us in the kick game last year, but we struggled to find him a home, as a defensive guy. So we felt, with an off season, hey, you can come over to offense, play fullback. He was a tailback in high school. He's fairly athletic. He's fast. And then that transition's worked, and he did a nice job, blocking for us. We got him involved in the pass game, which we like to do with our fullback, and he made plays, catching the ball and getting some key first downs, and did a nice job for us on Saturday.
Talk about the job the defense did.
I mean, they did a great job. I mean, they guys were doing their 1/11th, supporting each other. We were coming up and hitting people and making plays. We were covering and not hovering, and then we were flying to the ball and gang tackling. Even times we got reached, guys were still pursuing to the football. DBs were coming up, when it was run, and we didn't really give them, too many big plays.
And talk about the young secondary, Coach. They did a really good job in holding Patterson to only 108 yards in passing yards. So talk about that effort.
We were thrilled. I mean, we had, four freshman corners, and then a sophomore free who didn't play any varsity snaps last year from there, and then in Curtis Peace and Chris Matthews as the starting rover was an outside backer from there. So it was an inexperienced secondary, and then again they did a great job. They were confident in their coverages from our corners, and then playing tight coverage on people, came up. We're short tacklers. We were able to make plays on the ball and knock things down, force the quarterback to throw things away. So they're talented. How they're going to react when it's live and in color, and they did a really nice job. So we were really pleased with their ability and play in the secondary.
Well, this week your team's going to face a bigger challenge against Widener University in the MAC opener. Widener handled Kings pretty good last year. A lot of the same players back this year. They have a very, very experienced quarterback in senior Chris Haupt. Talk about what he means to that program.
Chris Haupt, he's their leader on offense from there. I mean, everything revolves around him. I mean, they threw the ball 50 some times, a game, and at the end of last year, they're throwing it all over the yard. He's an older guy, played professional baseball, so he's got, that confidence and that poise that you need from a quarterback standpoint. And then he catches it, and he knows where he wants to throw the ball, and he gets it there on time and gets there in a hurry to a very, very talented core of receivers.
They got a pretty good running game, don't they?
Yeah, they run the ball well when they want to. They tend to throw it a lot, but when they do run it, the kids are very athletic, very fast, so they can make things. As soon as you start to think it's pass, all of a sudden they'll hit you with a couple runs and get big chunks of yards. And then they bring in the Campbell kid, a bigger quarterback, and then they're gonna do quarterback runs and things with him. And he it's coming, but you still have to stop it, and he's hard to contain and stop as well.
On the defensive side of the ball, Widener also returns a lot of players on their 4-3 defense. Talk about that group.
Very aggressive, very physical. We saw them film. I mean, they were running to the ball. Very aggressive. The four guys were getting after the Wisconsin quarterbacks. So they're applying pressure just with their front four. And then their secondary. I think their free safety had 2 picks. I think another defensive back had a pick. So they did a nice job of reacting to the flight of the ball in air, and then ran to the ball very well and limited Wisconsin offensively.
What area of that defense do you think is their strongest?
They seem to be very aggressive, and they want to, stop the run. I mean, if you stop the run, you make somebody one-dimensional. You're going to put yourself in a position to be successful. If teams can run the football, and pass when they want, then they have the upper hand from there. So Widener, I think did a nice job. I mean, Wisconsin was in their spread and trying to run the read in the zone, and they forced Wisconsin to have to throw it because they weren't getting anywhere on the ground. What
do you do as a coach to try to prepare your team mentally against a squad like this?
Just to keep them focused on the task. I mean, our kids are upbeat, enthusiastic. Our seniors have done a phenomenal job with the leadership here. Our kids were heartbroken on Saturday, but then they recovered, quickly, and Sunday, back to themselves, and they know that, they're a good football team, a young football team that's growing and get better, every week. And then, as painful as watching last year was, a lot was us. We didn't. We had a rough week with the weather. We didn't do a good job as coaches to prepare our kids as necessary to go down there and play with shortened practice times from that standpoint. It showed. I mean, we had like 8 drops and misreads and a lot of things that enabled Widener. We made it really easy for Widener from there, and you can't make a good team have an easy day.
Widener was ranked 7th in one poll entering the season and 25th in another poll. What would a win like this mean to your program?
I mean, any win is huge. Every win is. It's hard to win a football game, but obviously you get a win here. That's going to be extra validation from all the hard work our kids have put in. Our kids are working hard, committed to doing things the right way and building this program, the right way to have success. So now you get a win and knock a team off who's nationally ranked, a preseason favorite to possibly win the conference would be a huge, boost in their confidence. I mean, these kids are confident kids as it is, but eventually you need to see results from all the hard work you're getting, and this would be a huge check mark in that confidence column.
Well, Coach, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you very much for your time, and good luck this weekend to the Monarchs.
Thank you.